An expert, Michael Wallace with Tulane University, is joining us live. We can't thank you enough for joining us this morning. Walk us through the latest development at this hour, if you can hear me all right.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, and kind of just put
Good.
this into perspective for people watching.
Yeah, so this is a follow-up to the strike that happened last year against the Iranian nuclear sites. But this is a much bigger operation. This is actually in three stages. You can think of them as three stages. One is going after the Iranian leadership. There have been reports that the Ayatollah Khomeini has been targeted. The defense minister and the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard have been killed. Those again are just reports. They are trying to destroy Iran's capability of striking countries, specifically Israel, with ballistic missiles and drones. And then they're going after the nuke program and trying to make sure that the program is destroyed.
Talk about the impact that this could potentially have on Louisiana.
That's a great question because the big question, uh, well, we always wonder what are going to be the second and third order effects of this strike. What are Iranian proxies going to do? Are they going to go after U.S. and allied forces in the region? Are they going to strike in other places of the world, Europe, the United States? So everyone needs to be vigilant, especially in these next few days. And I'm sure that law enforcement, both at the federal, state, and local level, are taking any threats very seriously.
From your expertise, what is happening now and what are they preparing to do in the next coming days? Kind of walk us through how you expect that to work and what's in
So,
store.
right. So the number one target they're going after is leadership because without command and control, things will fall apart quickly. So that has been their first thing. Second thing is going after the ability of Iran to strike both Israel and other countries in the region. That's specifically the ballistic missiles and the drones. And then once their air defenses are depleted, once they've lost their ability to strike back, then I think Israel and the United States will surgically go after the nuclear sites around the country. I'm sure they've already hit the nuclear sites, but this will allow them more time to go after those strikes and make sure that they're destroyed.
If you can walk us through, we spoke with lawmakers this morning. Some are questioning President Trump's action and the way it went about. Did President Trump follow the proper protocols with this? Some members of Congress saying that they were set to be or were supposed to be alerted. What's your take on that?
Uh, I think in the past there's been concern about leaks. With an operation like this, it depends on surprise. And we're talking about the lives of certain U.S. service members, Israeli service members. So that might be a reason why Congress was not notified before these strikes. I'm sure Congress has been notified about what's going on in either they are receiving classified briefings or they have received classified briefings. But as we've seen in past strikes that have happened under Trump in the last year and a half or a little bit over a year now, he has taken a lot of steps to ensure operational security, or as we call it, OPSEC. And I think this is one of those times.
And President Trump saying that unfortunately he expects American lives may be lost. What is your take on that, and how many people do you think we're potentially talking?
Um, with strikes like this, you're going to have airstrikes. You're going to have, possibly special operations teams going on. Um, Hopefully, uh, you, you know, unfortunately, in the U.S., we've gotten very used to these surgical strikes that we take very little casualties. But this sounds like a major operation, so there may be casualties. I hope they're as low as they can be. But an operation like this, you will probably have casualties.
And wrapping up, just kind of walk us through, we hear the term strikes a lot. Kind of put that into perspective for our viewers watching what is happening at this moment and what happened overnight.
Yeah. So what I have read is that there were cruise missile strikes. So these are missiles launched from submarines and or surface ships that are in the region. And then you had airstrikes that were launched. from our carriers. There are also land-based planes, both for the U.S. and for Israel, that struck targets. So a lot of airstrikes, both manned aircraft and then cruise missiles and things like that.
And as we wrapping up, what's next as we track each development? What is the next move at this hour, if you had to say?
Yeah, so being a former intel guy, this is the time when you want the dust to settle and figure out what actually happened. Did the Iranian leadership actually, who's still alive, who's calling the shots? What's the status of the Iranian military, their ability to hit targets, especially outside of Iran, and the status of their nuclear program? This is what they call battle damage assessment, trying to figure out, okay, the first strikes went in. This is what we hope to accomplish. Did they actually accomplish what we wanted them to do? And then after that, you plan on your follow-on missions.